Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You know, you can find us several different ways. On the radio, you can find us on IC Radio. That's icradio.media. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, the newscasters.com, and all the social media sites, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of those. You can find us on all of them. But thank you again so much for watching. Also, a lot of you are sending emails because you want to watch, how do you do natural stuff? And I'm all into natural. And I kind of have to be. My skin breaks out at nothing. I can walk by poison oak. I promise you, it jumps on me. I just got one of those skin conditions that's that way. And then I have asthma, so I have to really be careful what I use. And I've told you about my ginger. I live by ginger because ginger has enabled me to stop coughing so much. Talk show hosts have to be able to talk, without coughing and just splattering yourself all over everybody. But we're going to talk about natural beauty and skincare that I use. I'm just telling you, I love beef tallow on my skin. It feels so good. And I want to talk to you about that just for a second before we start showing you some videos and on how to do this stuff. I'm putting a book together. And this is some of my books, some of the stuff I'm writing. But I use grass-fed tallow. That's beef tallow from the fat of a cow. And so you probably notice a lot of the recipes I do contain grass-fed beef tallow, and it's important. I don't want hormones. I've got to have everything 100% natural. So again, that's why I have to make my own skincare, and it's beginning to gain more popularity finally. I mean, my grandparents used to talk about this all the time. And during the Depression era, you didn't throw anything away. I mean, you kept it all. And so a lot of the techniques I learned from my grandmother, and things that she did outside. She would actually get the beef fat, and she would make cracklings, and we love the cracklings, and crackling cornbread is really good. You can tell I'm from the South. And so but using the fat that was left over from the beef instead of the pork, because the beef fat more aligns with a human's skin. And I love the way it absorbs into my skin because I have oily skin. I can't use just anything. I can't even really just use olive oil because it doesn't go down into my skin. No, I use it in the product, but I use beef tallow because, again, it's natural. What I get is not grain fed, no hormones, nothing like that. It's grass fed, and that's really important. But beef tallow has actually been a traditional moisturizer for centuries. I didn't know that. I knew back in the Depression and all that it was done, but for centuries. And it's just the perfect moisturizer for your face. So let me tell you about grass-fed beef tallow. It's uniquely the way, and it's made the way our skin cells are made. So I mentioned that a second ago. But before we get started with the videos, I wanted to mention this. Grass-fed tallow contains the grass-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, and B12. And it's really interesting to note that this particular combination of vitamins is found in animal products only. No plant products contains this combination of vitamins, and they're extremely beneficial for your face. I mean, you got to try it, okay? And if I can do it, you can do it. Now, I do have a store so you can buy it from me, but I'm telling you, you can do it too. So let's go ahead and look at the first video, okay? We're going to be talking about the beef tallow and making products. Okay, so we've been talking about Comfrey and all of the wonderful benefits of using Comfrey on your body. And we have made a tincture. We talked about that earlier. Make sure you label, and you need to shake this thing every day. But you need to label the herb you have in whatever tincture you're using, because after a while they all kind of start looking the same. But this is the Comfrey. And see, on the label right here, I put the date we did it, and then when the 3 weeks are up. Now, I'm actually going to let mine go 4 weeks. Every single day now, 2 or 3 times a day, you need to shake this bottle, okay, and get that comfrey, all that wonderful, wonderful comfrey right here activated with whatever you're doing your tincture with. So here we go. I'm doing my daily shake it. And just any time, basically, you need to keep it, by the way, in a cool, dark place, and which is what we're doing. And so anyway, on with that one. And then remember also, we did a salve. And that was a wonderful thing to do, and it's great for your skin. I've been working in the garden, so you can see I've got little cut places right here on my hands, and I'm putting it there. And it's also good if you have arthritis or whatever. And I'll have to tell you, this stuff smells good. So I actually used lard with this, and I made an infused oil, and I did it over the stove, so you saw me actually handle that. But now this time, I'm going to do something a little different. This is an old, we keep everything. This is an old mayonnaise jar, back when they put mayonnaise into the, in glass jars. So what we're going to do is make an infused oil. And I'm going to do it this time, the longer process. Okay, so I was kind of in a hurry because I was out of my Comfrey salve that I've been using. So what we're going to do is, again, this is a lengthy process, but in my opinion, this is actually the best process. All right, this is what you want to do. This is my jar. Now you see I sealed the jar using my, there we go. See, Comfrey kind of went everywhere because what I like to do is seal these, and, oh, it smells good. I like to seal these, and I like to keep oxygen away from this stuff as much as possible. And because when you get this, and by the way, it'll just last forever. Now what I'm going to do is fill this Comfrey right here. I'm going to put it in this quart jar right here. And you kind of do a 2-for-1 when you're doing infused oil. So I'm going to fill this to about 2/3 of a cup. Let me go grab something else. I'll be right back. Okay, this way I won't be wasting my Comfrey, because it's just some good stuff here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is fill this jar about 2/3. Now you can use any oil you would like. It's a little bit too much, so because I want room. See, I want room. Let's pour some of that back. Okay, 2/3. That means get rid of just a little bit more of it. And because this stuff is going to infuse, and it's going to be so potent. Now, it needs to set, here, I'm not going to waste any of this wonderful stuff here. Put it in there. So, you want it to set actually longer than what I'm telling you, but you can start using it, and you can start straining it after 3 weeks. Now, you need a good carrier oil. You can use anything, jojoba oil, sunflower oil, anything you want, but I really like olive oil. So what I'm going to do is put this olive oil in here until it just covers, right here the jar. So let's go ahead and start pouring that in there. I'll do it kind of smooth. But use the good olive oil, don't get the cheap stuff. All this goodness right here. I'm filling it up here to the top. Now, another tip you want to do. I prefer to use a wooden, anything wooden. You could use a chopstick. You can use whatever you wanted to use. But I'm going to go ahead and use this wooden spoon. I'm turning it upside down because I want to go ahead and make sure that every one of these comfrey leaves are saturated with that really, really good oil. You got to see how some of the oil went down. So that means I'm going to pour more. You can use this to make tinctures. You can use it to make this awesome salve right here. But I'm going to do this one the old, long, drawn-out, processed way. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm making sure those awesome leaves are saturated. Okay. So you want to do a 2-for-1 deal on these. And I believe that's probably going to make it, because see, as the leaves are getting saturated there, that nice oil is going to be so awesome. You can add, if you would like to add any essential oils, you can do that, but wait until this whole thing has been processed. Okay, look at all that goodness we're going to have. So you and I are going to be making some salves out of this awesome oil. Now it's important to put the date on it. Make sure you use a good label. You want to put what it is, because like I said, especially if you do like I do a lot of different carrier oils, so, and it's not just Comfrey, but I do a lot of different things. You can also, for cooking, so if you like, say, basil, and you like to use it on pizza, or, you know, your soups and your stews and stuff like that, you can actually do infused oils using olive oil, again, whatever your favorite carrier oil is, and you can use it for that as well. So anyway, on your label, you want to put what it is, you want to put the date, and then that you actually put this together. And then, again, every couple of days or so, you want to go in and just kind of shake it, just to make sure, because what will happen is, in a day's time, a lot of that's going to settle down, and you'll see oil up here. But you want to keep shaking it, okay? All right, so that's going to be that video, and thank you so much for watching all the wonderful ways you can use Comfrey, and it's God's nature herb. Thank you again so much for watching. Something I had to do, okay, really quick, because I added so much of the Comfrey to the olive oil, so I did have to go on ahead. This is a half-gallon jug, and you'll see this a little bit later in the video, and you can see this has been, let's see, really, if you can go 4 to 6 weeks is really good, but if you can go longer than that, that would be even better, because the longer it sits in this oil, the better infused it's going to be. You got to shake it just like that. Okay, so I did have to put it in a bigger jar. That was in a quart one. This is a gallon size jar. So I wanted to mention that to you really quick. Okay, let's go on ahead and go with another video, and then we're going to have to go into a break pretty soon. But here we go. Here's this video number 2. Okay, so this is just a little quick video. Earlier we were talking about making the Comfrey tincture. And so this is what it looks like. You can see it's already developing really, it's only been a few days. Did this on the 29th, and so today is April the 2nd. And no, it's actually the 3rd. And so what I do is I reach in and I grab it and I shake it every day. It's hard to kind of do with holding the camera at the same time. But anyway, you just shake it. And again, you can kind of see that it's a real pretty green looking color. So we know it's doing its job. Now, it's real important when you're making your tinctures and when you're doing your oils and all those things that you keep it stored in a cool, dry place. Keep the door shut. You don't want any sunlight getting into it as much as you can help. Now this is the oil. We're infusing oil. I'm using olive oil with this and dried Comfrey, and so you can see what that looks like. I had to go ahead and transfer it. You can see the Comfrey settling down here in the bottom, and it does the same thing in the tincture as well. So make sure the lid is on it really tight. And every day, just whenever you think about it, come around, because see how it can settle down here in the bottom of the jar? So you want to make sure you give it a good shake, a real good shake. And that's just going to hold everything together. I'm going to turn it upside down and see how that beautiful stuff just flows. Now, it's still going to be a few weeks. They tell you, in anything I've read and I've done my research on, is, you know, at least 2 weeks, but I'm just telling you, the longer it sets, the better. And what we'll do, we're going to wait about 6 weeks, and we'll come back, and then what we're going to do is get some cheesecloth, and we're going to drain this, and then we're going to make all kinds of salves and stuff like that out of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the tincture that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, on that, what we're going to do is use that in applications on your skin. So I've already used some of it, so I had some poison oak, and I'm always getting all scratched up and everything from working outside, and I can hardly wait to get it done, and it takes some patience. Then another thing we're doing, I'll walk you around over here to the stove. We're in my kitchen. This is where everybody likes to hang. And so if you can't wait, because see, I've got some customers who are already wanting some of, you know, of the salves and the oils and stuff like that. So you can put it on a stove, and I've used lard, and you want to do 2 for 1. In other words, if I'm going to use 1 cup of my dried comfrey leaves, you can see it right there. If I'm using 1 cup, I want to use 2 cups of lard, and this is actually beef tallow. Beef tallow is actually better for your skin than any kind of fat. I mean, it even better than using leaves. I mean, using like olive oil and stuff like that. So anyway, this is on a, you don't want to burn it, by the way, and you want it on a very, very slow simmer. So as you can see, I have the eye right there put to very low. Now, this needs to cook. The longer it's on the stove, the longer it's on top of this. This has been going on now for about 2.5 hours, but I want it to go on for about 4 hours today. You can also put this in the slow cooker, but I like to put it on top of the stove so I can kind of stir it from time to time, because every time you remove the pot from the slow cooker, you're going down in the temperature. I mean, and then it takes a while to get caught back up again. But anyway, this is what it looks like. We're going to use this in soaps. We're going to use it in skincare. And this is going to be just what we need right here. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. And I'll be back in just a few minutes and show you some finished product. Okay, so let's head into a commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
My towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made my towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of my towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes my towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get my towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all my towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
Okay, we're back from the break. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. And we're talking about how to make Comfrey salve. We're going to be doing that. First, I wanted to get ready for the tinctures and show you how to do all of that. And so many wonderful things that you can do yourself, and it's actually much bigger benefit for you. So let's go ahead and go to video number 3. Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to make an ointment out of comfrey leaves. And I wanted to read something off to you because I want to make sure I don't miss anything really important. But comfrey leaves and the roots are really good for wound healing. You can do a lot of different things. I'm going to make a tincture out of it. But the first thing I'm going to do is show you how we can actually make a salve out of it. So if you have arthritis or if you have any kind of puncture wounds or anything like that, you can use this. Or if you've broken a bone, it's not going to heal up the bone, but what it's going to do is make the healing a lot faster. So this is what I have, okay? So comfrey leaves and roots are great for wound healing, used externally. Now, use it externally. This is a plant that was traditionally used to heal burns, bruises, and cuts. It has a high healing content. That means comfrey is good for bone fractures, promoting a speedy recovery, just like comfrey tea encourages growth in plants. It also nourishes the blood in humans and can improve fatigue. Emotionally, it's also thought to be helpful to those who lack grounding and boundaries. So I'm not sure about that, but I do know that it's really good for healing. Now, one thing I do know also is don't use it on a severely cut wound. Okay, or if you do, you need to use it as a compress more than you would use it for any other way. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll put this camera down so you can watch me as I'm working. Now there's several different steps to this. Now first of all, what we need to do is get it ready for the oil. Now what I'm going to use, this is going to be kind of like it's a salve, but we need to make an infusion for the salve. And what I'm doing right now is warming some water in the double boiler. And we're going to add beeswax a little bit later. We'll need an ounce of that. And then also a cup of oil is good. But what I'm going to use is I have some essential oils. I'm not going to use the lavender for that. But the oils I'm going to be using is a wintergreen. It has nutmeg in it, eucalyptus, turmeric, which is also wonderful, ginger, which is also good for your immune system. Black pepper is in this, and peppermint oil. So we're going to be using that in the salve, but I'm not going to use that yet because we don't want to add that to the warm ingredients. So what I'm going to use is, now, oh, by the way, if you're using fresh comfrey, you'll need to use 1 cup. But we're going to be using some that is dried, and I'm going to walk over here and grab it. I love my comfrey. Okay, now first of all, you can grind it up, which is what I suggest you do. You want to dry it, and then you can grind it up. Now I'm grinding it up, or I have already ground it up using this. It grinds your coffee beans, and of course I do fresh coffee beans too because I don't know what might be in it if you buy it from the grocery store. So anyway, what I've done, and now I've not ground that up into a powder. What I have done is ground it up to where it's going to be easy for infusion. Okay, now when you use dried herbs, you only use half the amount that you would use if you're using your fresh herbs. Okay, and because it's so highly concentrated. And I wouldn't overdo it in drying either. Okay, so you can see I keep a lot of comfrey leaves. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Oh, and by the way, comfrey, if you have a fruit tree, what you want to do is actually put your comfrey plant out there by that fruit tree because it grows this huge taproot. I mean, it get wherever you put it, make sure that's where you want it to be. So it's going to be this huge taproot, and what it's doing in the wintertime when everything goes dormant and it goes to sleep, that taproot is going to condition, it's going to help the growth of that fruit tree. So I've got a bunch of them planted out in all of our fruit trees, and I'm excited about that as well. Okay, now what I'm going to do is steep this in a double boiler for an hour. Okay, so I'm going to use a cup of my lard, and this is what I've rendered. So I'll put this in a smaller containment. So I'll go ahead and put the half cup of comfrey, and then I'm going to put a cup of my shortening right here. Okay, now when I get through doing that, as you can see right now, I've got a double boiler started right here. I've got to let that be in the double boiler. That's how it's going to be infused. So I've got that let that be in there in the double boiler for 1 hour. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay guys, so I went on ahead and took the salve off of the double boiler, and so we're going to grab a cloth. Here we go. Let's go ahead and dry it off, and I added some beeswax to this. Now the beeswax is going to help harden it. So I've already poured up 1 jar, and it'll have to let it sit, and it'll have to harden. And let's go ahead and put another one. Now this is about a 3-ounce jar that I had. So here we go. We'll go ahead and pour that up. And it's a beautiful salve too. It's kind of a green looking color. And again, all this has is lard in it, dried comfrey leaves that I went on ahead and strained. And then I also went on ahead and added some of my essential oils. The essential oils I did add, I went on ahead and put nutmeg, I put wintergreen in there as well, eucalyptus, turmeric, which is also good for your bones and for your health, ginger root, you know, I use ginger for my asthma, and black pepper, and those are all essential oils that I used in here. I put about a total of about 20 drops, and I just kind of 2 drops, or about 3 or 4 drops per, and see, this is kind of what it looks like when it starts drying. So anyway, I'll let you come back when this has hardened up. And again, the beeswax is actually what helps harden it. And I'll see you after a while. Okay, folks, now part 2 of making the salve. Okay, so went on ahead and for 1 hour we put the oil, and of course I used lard and the comfrey leaves. So we let this cook down for just about an hour. Now, this is infused oil, and you can use this for a number of things. You don't even have to make a salve out of it, but it just goes on a whole lot smoother that way. So let's go on ahead, and I do have a pan right here, and I have a strainer, and I've got a paper towel. So what I'll do is go on ahead and pour this in, and I'm going to let this drain because I want all the dried leaves out of it. But I'm going to go on ahead and put everything in here and let it drain completely down. I'm not going to press it down or anything like that. I want it to happen naturally. Now once this is done, I'm going to add 1 ounce of beeswax with it. It'll take putting it back on the stove again, and I'll have to heat it up again in a double boiler. But anyway, I'll be back with you in just a few more minutes, and we'll talk about how that turns out. Go to the next step.
Thank you for watching. See you next time. I love this stuff. You take care.